about prioritizing public transport. I try to, I think it's very much connected to Pat's presentation, and it will try to drive the point even further. I'll focus on public transport, specifically in Metro Manila, but know that it's still a big, the Philippines has a lot of other public transport modes, but for this particular one, I'll focus on Manila. So this is just an outline of my presentation. First, I'll discuss traffic congestion. Next, I'll discuss about improving mobility. Next, I'll discuss about cars. Next, I'll discuss about public transport. And then I'll end with some concrete solutions. So I think we've been talking about EDSA for a while now, and we all have our own experiences of our forever in EDSA, because it takes around 2 hours for just for us to finish a 3-kilometer trip, let's say, because there's so much traffic in EDSA. And JICA has tried to put a number on this, and they computed that in 2017, our traffic congestion costs around 3.5 billion pesos a day. So it's a lot. It reduces our productivity because we go to work late and we miss some of our meetings. And so sometimes if you have a 1-hour meeting in the morning, you already have to, empty up the whole morning just for that 1-hour meeting. So it reduces our productivity. And however, I know we're very focused on the traffic problem, but I want to pose this first. This question of, is traffic really the problem? Because it's very important for us to first think about the correct problem that we have to answer. And I think that this is an incorrect way of trying to think about our traffic issues. So first, we see that traffic, as our economy grows, there's much more traffic because more people can afford more options, such as they can own their own cars or motorcycles, and also additional, there's a lot more economic activity requirements for that particular society. But again, because I think we're very vehicle-centric, maybe because of the Americans or something. But now, we're always looking at this problem whenever we're stuck in it. So how do we solve this traffic? Which I think is the wrong question that we're asking ourselves. Because what we really want to ask or to solve is, how do we enhance the mobility of the people inside those cars or inside those vehicles? So it's not a question of us moving the vehicles faster or more efficiently, but more of how do we enhance the mobility of the people inside these cars safely, conveniently, reliably, affordably, etc. So this, I think Pat already mentioned about this, because we're our group always pushes for this one. We have to move people and not cars. And she already mentioned about Enrique Peñalosa. He said that a good city must be planned, designed, and built around the needs of people and not the needs of cars. So with that, again, the correct question that we should be asking ourselves is, how do we improve mobility? And Pat has the same picture I saw a while ago. And we see this picture of EDSA again. And a lot of people are saying it's very traffic. It's because of the public transport vehicles. But see this picture. Less than 20% of this picture is public transport. Even if you remove public transport from this picture, there will still be traffic. It's because of the sheer number of cars, which carry only around 1 to 2 people each, while the public transportation carries around, let's say, 60. So I think the way for us to improve our mobility first in the Metro Manila area, which we have limited urban space, is to utilize this limited urban space in the most efficient way possible. So using transport modes that move the most number of people with the least amount of space, especially the buses, the jeepneys, also in the UV Express. I know they have bad driving behaviors, and also they have low quality vehicles, but that's another topic. But this is more of, in theory, idealistically, they are more efficient. So I'm more focusing now on just efficiency. And this is a picture, or a GIF of driving this point. Maybe some of you have already seen this. That you can move the same amount of people with smaller spaces if you want to be more efficient about it. It's also the same for this picture. These two pictures I got from Rob, which is March 2015, 2016. He got it from Facebook, etc. But I grabbed it, I saw this and I said, I should put this in the presentation. You essentially, because of more efficient use of the space, you're able to provide, to reallocate the inefficiently used space into more productive uses, such as public spaces or maybe another economic activity, building area, whatever. And actually, the more that you shift people into using public transport, it's actually faster for cars also, because less cars, it's less faster for them. For those who really need to use cars, let's say the disabled, for example, or you have a pet that you have to carry around. And to drive this point even further, I had Pasig LGU data for some of their major roads, and we see here, I hope it's very clear, around 60 or 70 to 80% of the road is being used by private vehicles. However, they only carry around 30 to 40% of the passengers using that road. So cars take up most of the road while carrying fewer people. And it's not shown here, but public transport only carries around 15 to 25% of the road, but they carry around 65% of the people. So really, the ones causing the traffic are the cars. Aside from road congestion, they also cause a lot of negative externalities, such as parking space, idle, wasteful space, road depreciation, traffic accidents, and noise and air pollution. I just breezed through them very quickly because time is limited also. So really, but even despite all of this, because of our love for cars, and of course it's very convenient, safe, and we're just used to it, we still keep on prioritizing cars, even with it's causing a lot of traffic for everyone. However, I'll drive the point even further, that prioritizing cars reduces mobility. As I mentioned, private cars use up more space to move less people, and limited urban space are wastefully and inefficiently allocated to road and parking spaces. And if there's more cars, there's more time spent in road traffic, because it's more traffic for everyone. The pictures are just showing how many vehicles we sold in 2016 and 2017. We have double-digit annual growth for car sales, but optimistically, we only our road network grew around, let's say, 5%, and that's already optimistic. So it's impossible for us to keep up with this. And next, prioritizing cars lowers quality of public transportation. The less we prioritize public transportation, the slower it becomes. So once the public transport becomes slower, commuters will just use the private cars. We'll try to use private cars because it's faster. Let's say it's 30 minutes faster, and they can afford it. Then naturally they'll want to shift to using cars. But again, if there are more cars on the road, there will be more congestion. And if there's more congestion, then it's even much slower and less reliable for everyone. And also, it becomes less profitable for the public transport industry for them to invest in additional capacity or any additional improvements. And also, for government who provide budget for public transportation, they'll have decreasing confidence in public sector. And a very good example here is PNR. PNR's budget is going down and down because their performance is always going down also. So if your performance is bad, the Congress will say, bakit ko pa bibigyan niya ng budget? The performance is not so good. But actually, it's that lack of budget, it's also causing the low performance. So really, it's a downward spiral. Sorry, already went here. And again, if you add more roads, if that's our solution, it doesn't solve the traffic problem, which is all. Lewis Mordich said that more roads means more traffic. I touched on the South Korea slide again, our picture again later. So again, what we have to do is to prioritize public transport. We prioritize public welfare over private interests, and it provides equitable distribution of public good, which in this case is the limited urban space that we have, to maximize public welfare. Because currently, if we prioritize elite few, for example, the ones who use cars, it becomes more traffic for everyone. As you might have experienced in EDSA, you might have seen a Wang entourage there. Becomes lower for everyone because you have to pass this entourage for faster than everyone. So the sustainable solution is the key here is to provide high quality public transport, which I know is difficult currently, but that's what we have to target, so that there will be less need for cars on the road and inefficient parking space. So if we are able to shift the current car users into using public transport, the mobility of everyone improves, and also we maintain public transport users to continue using the public transport. And Pat already touched on the sustainable aspect of the definition of sustainable transport. So from prioritizing cars, we should prioritize people and public transportation. So these are some concrete solutions. One is the yellow lane in EDSA. I think at the first 2 weeks there has been a lot of opposition from private car users, but we've seen that the commuters really benefited from them, especially at the time when MRT was breaking down once or twice a day. It became much faster for these commuters, so it provided them relief knowing that MRT was not functioning well. And also, essentially, a good thing about this is if you prioritize public transport, you essentially increase their supply, because even without additional vehicles or public transport vehicles on the road, because they can make more round trips per day, they're able to serve more people. So it's, again, an efficient use of the road. And also, a step further than that is the BRT, bus rapid transit, wherein one BRT lane can move more people than 7 lanes of cars. So an example is in Seoul. The thing here is that if you are driving your car for 45 minutes from end to end, and you see the BRT being able to transport one person for 10 to 15 minutes from end to end, you'll see while you're stuck in traffic, you'll be reflecting, why am I still riding my car if it's much faster to go to my meeting using public transportation? So essentially, what you really want to do is to prioritize public transport so that you will be able to shift people. Because the most important thing for people, I think, is to be on time to their meetings, etc., etc. So here, this bus carries 65 people, but the private cars only carry 1 to 2. If you have this model, it will not be very efficient for everyone. But if you have this model, it becomes much faster. So there, and then these are just some examples of BRT in other countries, just to show that it can be done. And this is just imagination of picturing it. It's from it's BRT of DRTR in World Bank. So, and then this is again the Chongqing stream example, wherein to improve their mobility, they removed the expressway and they made it to this nice, beautiful, walkable area if you've been there before. So essentially, we have the same goal as Korea. We want to improve mobility, but us, we're trying to increase expressways, skyways, widening the roads. What they're doing is removing their expressways that they already built, and they achieve maybe better than what we have already achieved. And some other solutions that we can provide is signal priority, like this picture here. The dedicated lane is like for the BRT and the yellow lanes. Next is if you leave number coding for public transport, you essentially increase their capacity also, because you enable more public transport on the road, and etc. That's all. Again, move people, not cars.